Yo, what's up, everybody? You know what time it is.
It's tea and crumpet time.
Tea and crumpets. We're back again. Packed show. We got FA Cup to talk about today. Chelsea escaped narrowly by the skin of their teeth against Luton. We say farewell to Roman Abramovich. Get into that whole nonsense with Chelsea FC. We had Prem this past weekend. The MLS is back too. So please join us. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go.
Let's go. This ain't the fuck like before this game he stinks.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Kicking it stateside back again. A beautiful Wednesday here live on D Radio in New Jersey and Philadelphia, respectively, talking all the wonderful game that is football, or like us Americans call it, soccer. Back show today, we got some FA Cup rolling along. Yesterday, some great action. Our beloved Spuds lose to Middlesbrough. Yeah, today FA Cup. Yeah, clap that up for sure for that result. We got FA Cup going on today. Chelsea escaped narrowly. We got Southampton, West Ham going down. The mighty Reds of Liverpool, fresh off their League Cup victory against Chelsea, going up against the lowly Canaries from Norwich. They're up 2-0 currently. We also had Prem this past weekend. And again, like I mentioned, League Cup. Got to give credit. I will clap it up one time for Liverpool. Congrats on your League Cup win. Deserved, undeserved. You still won. You still did in extraordinary penalty kicks.
Yeah,
Cup. So congrats to them. And the MLS is back, Brian. As you segue in like Chris Collinsworth, your Red Bull with a huge win is what you like to see to start. So I'm going to throw it to you. What is your take this past weekend, past week?
It's been a nice little treat for us. You know, I know our fan base here. We have some Liverpool fans in the crowd, so they were happy. Again, they're in control right now. That's the last game left on the FA Cup slate for today. They are up 2-0. They went up 2-0 in the first half. Both goals by Minamino. So they're cruising. They're gonna beat Norwich. I don't see them giving up a 2-0 lead to Norwich, as poor as they've been. So we're going to have, 6 out of the 8 settled. We have 2 more games remaining in that tournament, so we'll talk about that. The rest of the week was very interesting. Very, very interesting open to the MLS season. Again, I mean, what do you take out of week 1 of the MLS season? It's the earliest the MLS has ever started in the history of the MLS. So you know right there, that's going to throw some guys off. They didn't have a normal kind of preseason. It's cold, real cold in some areas. Some of these guys have been playing internationally. Some of these guys haven't. So you kind of saw a nice mixed bag of everything. It was nice to see Austin FC come out, and they're actually leading the league right now, #1 team in all of MLS after the thrashing of Cincinnati, 5-0. So they lead in goal differential above everybody in the league. In their second year, they sit atop the table. It might be week 1, but hey, something the team that they just demolished to open the season could never say. So.
Yeah, it's now an ongoing joke with now the whole soccer community in the U.S. that Cincinnati FC should just be relegated back to the USL because it's been pretty poor since they became an MLS club. What, 3 years ago now?
And we're on 4. This is year 4, I believe. Yeah, maybe 5.
It's now a running joke with the whole community, not just with Brian and I, with Cincinnati being so terrible ever since becoming an MLS club because, they get these beautiful new stadium and try to bring in different coaches and, get some of these designated players, but straight up just hasn't worked out. But yeah, it's again, what can you take away from an MLS opening weekend that really get you fired up? I think your boys is one that kind of, turned heads. I'm not sure how good San Jose is going to be or will be or predicted to be, but hell, you still go on the road and get a pretty convincing win is, I think, any cause for celebration in any week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially the way we've played over the last couple years. Great.
He had his tea and crumpets. You missed.
I had a crumpet, bro. You missed the intro. Prior to the intro, I had a tea. It was tea and crumpet. 4:30 Wednesday afternoons. That's how we roll. So, but
no other way to roll.
Yeah, here's the thing. If this Red Bull team can stay healthy defensively, they're going to be in a lot of games because Aaron Long's back. He's even talked now. He's targeting. He said, "Don't count me out of Qatar." Still, like he's got work to do. He was at one point he was one of the choices at starting center back until the injury bug bit him. And it's just been a long road, and he hasn't been selected in a long time. He hasn't been available in a long time. But he came back. The Nealis kind of came on big last year, Sean Nealis, and they kind of stepped up together. We could get Reyes back soon too, so that's another center back that could help. They picked up the loan again on Tom Edwards, so that right there tells me that they're trying to do something. I think with the guy moving on from the front office and it just being not handed over totally to Struber, but I would guess that's kind of a sign that it's Struber's calls now.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This team could be dangerous. Klimala scores on opening night. He had issues finding the net last year. That was their issues. And early in the game, they had that problem too. I think I tweeted it out. Like the first 10 shots on goal were not on. Like they still were having issues finding the net. A little bit of luck too. Omir Fernandez going 5-hole. Our boy Tom Barlow gets a goal. So.
Yeah, I saw he got a nice goal.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice late goal coming on. Huge for him, huge confidence booster. We're still missing some guys. Some of the new guys have not even arrived yet. So, yeah, I mean, to start off on the road, 3 points is 3 points. You take it. And now they still got work to do, though.
Yeah. Again, it's week one. It's kind of like some of these other sports where everyone, is just itching to get back and watch your team play after a little bit of a layoff, and everybody's tunes into the first game, and then it's like, well, okay, we get, you still got a lot of time. It's still, we're rolling into March. We still got many, many games to play, but hey, some you're going to take away and be like super surprised, like the Union or the Red Bull result, and some with the Union, but kind of get into that later. That's not that important, but so I guess today with first off, forgot to shout out show sponsor, our good boy, our good friend, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. You know him. number one in our hearts. He's South Jersey's number one doctor. You can find him at 2 locations, Burlington and Cherry Hill. Also, you could do the telehealth. Now that we're kind of starting to get out of the woods now, go visit the good doc.
Yes.
It's getting to be that springtime. We're starting to get back outside, doing the outside activities. You're going to start playing stuff. Any injuries, he'll rehab you. Check him out, specializedphysicaltherapy.com as well. And I guess kind of going into our poll question for today, Jamie Vardy, the Prem, keeping on rocking and rolling this past weekend. Jamie Vardy obviously has been out for a couple months now with an injury. The guy, we've talked about what the man drinks before matches, like 3 espressos and, 2 Red Bull before games. Just, he has that motor that's not stopping. The man's 33, 34 years old now. So, and he keeps scoring. He comes back, scores on his first game back. So that kind of brings us to, will Jamie Vardy, that Premier League record for goals scored for guys over the age of 30, will that be broken? That will not be broken. Agree or disagree? I would think I would probably, I don't know. I just say disagree for now because I'm curious to see with all this young talent that has been in the league if as they age and see how they, progress with their careers to see if they will be scoring that many goals over 30 years old. I'm sure Kun Aguero would have gave him a little ride for his money if he would have been able to stay healthy and able to stay in the league. But I think it's a testament to Jamie. The man was like bagging groceries, not that long before being picked up. Like, if you have time, take a look and read Jamie Vardy's path to where he's got to with Leicester. It's incredible. He's worked his ass off of being just like a non-league player to, breaking records in the Premier League. So, and winning a league title with Leicester in whatever that was, 5 years ago or so, when Leicester pretty much pulled the impossible, winning the league with such long odds. So I'm going to say it will eventually be broken because I think there's just too much talent in the younger generation now waiting in the wings that I think it probably at some point will be broken. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, first of all, our poll question today is brought to you by BetUS. BetUS is a leading online sports book in the market for 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. So click the little link there up on our thing, up on our screen. Adam will put it up. You get 125% on a sign-up bonus. So where do I think? I don't know, man. I want to say probably not. I think it's a very unique record in the fact that, well, one, the guy's got it's 94 goals over the age of 30 years old in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. So at this point, he's not going anywhere. He's back healthy, so he's going to add to that record as well. So he's going to continue to accumulate on that record. And I think the way guys move around and the way sports is changing so much, like, he's just so unique to have that such a late bloom to be able to, be with Leicester and get that opportunity to be their guy. And even though he seems to have those like couple months where he gets knocked, like he just comes back and he just scores and clips. And I just don't see like the landscape playing out to where anybody ever beats it. I mean, somebody might come and beat the next Jamie Vardy who comes on late in their career as well. But at at this moment, I don't see that ever happening.
Yeah, I think it'll be. It's hard to tell, but it's a hell of a thing to
Like that's
accomplish.
it. Yeah, like he wasn't. It's not like he has 400 career goals and he just happened to score 94 after the age of 30. Like this is a very unique situation where a guy who's just a footballer kind of makes his way through and then just has this late blossom.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's 35 right now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you figure at the rate he's going to play for a couple more years. If it's in the Prem, most likely it's going to be in the Prem, unless he has a major decline. He's not going to leave England, I doubt.
nah, not at this point.
He might not be with Leicester, but he's not gonna leave home.
I think he's a Leicester guy through and through.
I mean, most likely it would be hard for him to leave after what he did in 15 and just the career, and sitting here talking about and having a poll question strictly about this guy and what he's accomplished alone kind of says it. So it'd be nice to see him stay.
Yeah, I mean, he's been with Leicester since 2012, and he's made 325 appearances for the Foxes and 148 goals with the club. So
94 of the 148 are all over the age of 30. Yeah, like that's
even more impressive, though.
Yeah. That's
the fact that majority of it was after 30 is just a testament to his skill. And it's all heart, man, for this guy. He just doesn't stop running. And the fact that he has that little bit of technical skill just goes such a long way. You can't really explain it. You cannot really put a certain category that Jamie Vardy would be like, all right, you have these really good players that we can kind of categorize and say these are the best strikers in the league, but he just kind of has his own little journey. I wouldn't even say journeyman, because he's been on with one team basically his whole professional career. So
and
I don't know.
That was Pete does bring up a good point, and that was going to be my only thing, is the fact that like he said, is 30 is the new 40. So there's going to be guys with more longevity. My only thing is with the movement of players and the way guys do jump around from leagues to league. Is anybody going to be in the Prem from 30 on like he was? Ooh, Norwich just grabs one back. Are you on sides? Nobody's celebrating? Oh, no, they're celebrating. Norwich 2-1. Nice goal.
Interesting.
Sorry.
The Canaries making things a little interesting here late.
Yeah, man. Who was it? Let me see. They're showing the replay now. Ooh, Sargent with a nice little pass. Sargent getting involved to looks like Rupp with the goal. So
there you go.
Yeah, man. Lucas Rupp, the German.
I mean, that would be quite the
Yeah, if they could put Liverpool on their heels a little bit, that would be nice.
quite the turn of the tail there with that.
Yeah, sorry. So mid sentence there, I got a little distracted by the goal. But yeah, I just, like you said too, he's probably going to stay. He's probably going to be a Leicester guy for a while now. And if 30 is the new 40 and he's only 35, the way he is and the way he seems to take care of himself for the most part, he'll probably play a few more years. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody does.
I would say he's probably got a couple seasons left before he packs it all in.
Yeah. It's just not easy to score goals either. I mean, to score.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. You have to have some technical skill, not just being super fast and running all over the field. You have to be able to finish. I mean,
Right.
that's half the
And
battle.
maintain that over the age of 30. I mean, a lot of these guys start their pro careers at 16, 17 years old. So,
Right.
it's, by 30, those are tired legs usually. Even in a time where athletes are playing longer and healing better.
I mean, he had 24 goals in that season that they won the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was the second highest scorer in the Prem for that season with Aguero. And he only finished one goal behind in the Golden Boot, which eventual winner was Harry Kane. And
he won a Golden Boot 2 years ago too. I mean,
yeah,
over the age of 30. So
right.
Yeah.
It's insane the way. And I believe in 16, 17, he had one of those fantastic seasons. So he's been consistent,
Yeah, ever since that 15 run, he's been, when he's healthy, he's putting the ball in the net.
Right. And he's been I mean, again, he's been pretty healthy throughout his career. Just this year, obviously that comes with the territory of getting older, comes possible injuries, maybe stretching it, running down that loose ball, maybe when you should pull up a little bit and chill. But, with him, I don't think there is such a thing as a chill button with Jamie Vardy. So, yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think the games it just evolves so much over time that I feel like some of these guys, like Pete kind of said, there'll be guys scoring goals at there'll be some person or multiple people that'll be like Buffon's age at like 45. And like score goals in the Premier League one day.
Still playing?
Yeah, I don't even know. With science these days, who the hell knows?
Yeah. Salah looks like he's 40, but he's only like 26.
Yeah. I'll say Jamie's looked pretty withered for a while now.
Yeah. From hanging out in all those bars.
I was going to say, I don't know what he does, but he's definitely not on the TB12 diet.
No. Works for him now.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Again, if you're still playing at this high level at 35. But yeah, FA Cup games obviously were the big topic the past couple days here. Today, Chelsea goes down early in 2 minutes in, goes down, and then just a random goal from Saul, who you haven't seen him even mention much yet, get any playing time recently. He gets it on the score sheet.
Yeah, I was wondering where he's been at.
Yeah, he's kind of buried in the depth chart. I think the English game I think he's playing a little bit of catch up. How we say some people it takes longer, to adapt to this league, as we've seen. So I think he's part of that. But he did score today.
Yeah.
And then, Chelsea gets down again in the 40th minute, down 2-1. Then, of course, FA Cup boy comes to the rescue. Timo Werner, again, seems like nobody has mentioned him much recently either. So there's two guys on the Chelsea team, tie the game up, and then Lukaku with the eventual game winner in the 78th minute.
The third ghost.
Yeah, very weird, but kind of like perfect for the way everything has gone with Chelsea FC, and obviously, if you aren't living under a rock, and recent soccer news, Roman Abramovich, the Chelsea FC owner, is going to be selling the club because of ties with the whole Putin thing. I know we're not talking politics on this show, but just the fact that he's making this decision, I think it's the right decision. And he basically said that in a statement earlier today that it's right for him to sell the team. And I mean, it's going to get pretty tricky for Roman here soon.
Yeah, it's crazy how these things just overnight you go from being the owner of the best football club in the world at the moment to being forced out to sell because of who you're hanging around. So
yeah, it's your friend is really messing it up for you. But again, we'll see how this all plays out. We're still pretty much in the early stages of what's going to happen. There have been a few names that have kind of been like thrown around. I forget, there was an American guy, I forget his name, but previously he tried to buy a team not too long ago, but the bid was declined. And also this, I think he was Swiss, the guy that seems to be the favorite at this point, some Swiss billionaire coming in to possibly take over. I mean, they want like $1 billion or something like that he's looking for. So it's like calling all billionaires out there. I'm sure there's a million of them out that somebody's going to come and buy the team probably soon. So
it's not going to be it's not a cheap investment, but right now it's a solid investment.
Yeah,
you're getting a really good product for your money, so it's kind of a win-win for whoever gets the opportunity now, I guess, to buy Chelsea, because I don't think it was going to be for sale anytime soon if this didn't happen.
No, I mean, he's been with the club since I think 2002.
Yeah, he's held ownership for a long time. So there was a near goal again by Norwich here, coming close, putting one on Becker, but no luck by John Rowe there.
Alisson Becker.
So they're in the 85th minute of that game. So this is the last one to wrap up today. As we talked about, we did have some FA Cup action yesterday as well. For anybody who missed it, you had City took on good old Peterborough in Peterborough. Again, one of those nice situations for Peterborough, getting a club like City coming in there, picking up some attendance, picking up some money, picking up some TV money. Unfortunately, it ended there. Second half, Mahrez scores, and Jackie Grealish, the ghost as well, the $100 million ghost that's done.
We've said a lot about certain players being ghosts and coming. Oh, apparently it's the magic of the cup that brings some of these ghosts to life, as you could say.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, I know you pay the guy $100 million, but then at the same time, it's like he's still got to fit in, and they already had a really good team. So it's like that was a long-term move, not necessarily just a short-term move. And people forget that because everybody only lives in the short term nowadays. Nobody has any feel for the long term. But that's definitely a long-term move. He's not a bad player. Give him some time. Even though he's been in the league, he's been in England. Like, this is a whole different ballgame now to get his feet wet. Expectations are high. And I think he'll be fine there.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be again, with the depth, even at City, it's like the depth there. It's hard for him to even get in the team, which is insane to say.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just how it is. They're really the only ones that could probably afford much of his wages, or that could take him on to have that squad depth in the Prem. He did enough service to Villa. I think he stayed longer than he probably should have.
He did. He definitely.
And that was just him being nice and just being a Villa guy pretty much through and through. So he'll get his time eventually. It's just he's collecting the money anyway. He's gonna make a sick paycheck, and he'll score his goals. He'll do well, but I'm not sure if he's gonna be like a superstar.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll just always be Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
It is, it is what it is. This move might tarnish it a little bit, but he could always go back to Villa later on and play there one more time and just be Mr. Villa before this thing is all over. I think he won an opportunity to win some silverware, and you can't blame the guy. First of all, and the money was there. So between the two, it's like no matter what happens, you just hope that he's not one of those guys where he just stops working because he got to that level. He doesn't seem like that guy, though.
No. I mean, I do agree. I think one day he's going to go back to Villa and finish his career up there.
Yeah.
At some point.
So our FA Cup segment here is brought to you by Manscaped. You get 20% off, free shipping. Use code A2D, manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Crystal Palace is the second team to advance yesterday. So they beat Stoke 2-1. Took a little work as well. They went up in the 53rd minute, 1-0, gave it right back. This thing was 1-1 for a while, and they put it away in the 82nd minute. Going on to win. So Palace is in the final 8 of the FA Cup.
Yeah, I kind of had that. I could see that coming. It was a good draw for Palace because Stoke, they're not average year in the championship, probably below average team. So good draw at home. It was a good win. It took them 82 minutes from Riedewald, the Dutch vet, to get the game winner. But they advance, and who knows? They could draw another championship side, and we'll be talking about the quarters. I guess that draw would be tomorrow or Friday.
No, yeah, you still got a little ways to go because there's.
Oh, that's right. We have
2 more
Everton
games.
And Boreham Wood tomorrow.
You got Everton and Boreham Wood, and you have another game after that as well.
Forgot.
Yeah, because things got pushed back. You have a game. Was it Tuesday? Monday. You got Forest and Huddersfield.
Oh, that's right. Duh.
Yes. So we still have some time because of the scheduling and all of that. It's still going to take a little while.
That one got pushed back.
Yes.
My beloved Forest.
And Jamie, if she joins us today, her Huddersfield. So
it's a good matchup.
They're playing pretty well right now.
See, that's the matchup you want. You want to face a team in your own. If you're a championship side, you want to get that another championship team draw.
Oh, absolutely. That's the goal right now. I mean, I hate to say it, even though they've just won 2 monstrous games in a row, but a lot of people are gonna want to draw Middlesbrough, at this point, just because.
Who's to say that's not an easy out, though? I mean, that's
yeah. I mean, right now, I don't think I'd want to play Middlesbrough the way they're playing, especially
they're the Prem League slayers, man.
Yeah, beating United and now beating Tottenham. That was the final game yesterday. So if anybody missed that one,
fantastic. I watched the end of that. I watched the end of probably the last 15 minutes of regular time and then extra time. That was.
Even if you watch that entire game, that's one of those games where somebody who doesn't know the game was like, 0-0, yeah, soccer, whatever. That was the most exciting 0-0 game you will ever see, man. It was just a lot of action, up and down, missed opportunities, big saves, and then it goes to extra time, and Josh Coburn just
oh my God,
dribbles finds a little bit of space, man, and just puts his head down and just
one.
Yeah, right past. That's all you got to do sometimes is just shoot the ball. And the story continues. Middlesbrough with the big upset. Tremendous to see Spurs not going to win any hardware again for another year. That pretty much locks them out of anything. So that's awesome. Yeah, good job, Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it was. Again, it's a Middlesbrough team that just they look the better side. I think in a lot of parts of. Well, from what I've saw in the second half in the end, and then obviously extra time with Spurs. See, that's the problem. Some of these Prem teams, if you're in all these competitions and you have this condensed schedule now, and then you're taking it into extra time, played right into Middlesbrough hand,
Yeah.
You get tired kind of.
You could see it. They were exhausted. Spurs were absolutely exhausted. And
Conte pretty much rolled out his A squad. There's a few rotation, but he went with Sonny, he went with Kane. He was going for the win easily. So
I saw my man Florian Ballerin out there helping Middlesbrough late in that game too. So that was there was two Arsenal loanies in that game as well for Middlesbrough. So that was nice to see. Final just happened. Liverpool does advance, beating Norwich 2-1. So Liverpool moves on as well. So now we have 6 of the final 8 settled.
Yeah,
I would say obviously, so City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Out of those 3, anyone would have to be the favorite going forward.
Yeah, I could say that. I guess we'll have to wait on the draw next week to see what Prem team probably gets fucked and has to play another decent side.
I kind of you know what though? There's something about that I enjoy too though. I hope it's actually 2 bigger clubs, so it opens the door for maybe one of the smaller clubs to continue to advance. So most likely it'll be
you'll probably see that. You'll probably see
it'll be City at home versus Southampton. That's what's going to happen. And Southampton's just going to they're going to lose 4-0, and their little dream story will be over. That's usually, it won't be like Liverpool Chelsea or Liverpool City but
I think there will be another rematch of Chelsea Liverpool at some point in the FA Cup. I could just feel it.
Oh, I could definitely feel that coming on.
Probably, maybe we'll say semifinal Chelsea Liverpool. Yeah.
So talking about that today too, since I mentioned them, Southampton was the other game that we didn't really talk about. They beat West Ham 3-1 today. So
pretty convincing too.
Yeah.
I watched most of that from start to finish. Obviously, I missed the last 10 jumping on the show, but Parud, the dude that scored absolute howitzer goal, just if you get a chance, look that one up. Fantastic goal. You get a James Ward-Prowse goal there in the second half from a penalty. Michael Dawson, terrible challenge in the box. Doesn't catch any of the ball, just catches all of Armando Broja, and James Ward-Prowse converts. That was after the fact that Mikel Antonio, Willie Caballero kind of misplayed a corner kick. And there's a ping pong in the box, and Mikel Antonio, right place, right time to stick it, to tie it. But then that terrible penalty, and then it looks like Broja scored again, scored.
Yeah, he scored. Yeah, but at the end of the game.
in the 95th minute to make it 3-1 Southampton. And again, it looked like Southampton was going to win from the start. Again, West Ham, anytime I think about even like putting any money whatsoever on West Ham, I usually tell myself don't do it because they just let you down every time.
Yeah. Yeah, they
come up small, man.
They did. They're I mean, right now they're sitting 5th in the table as well. They barely squeaked one out this past weekend. So they'll most likely fall down. They'll be the one out of Spurs, Arsenal, Wolves, United, and West Ham. That kind of group right there. I see them probably finish in that 8th spot. They'll probably drop down below everybody because it just seems to be their MO. But yeah, so
they just I feel like they've been in 5th for like 2 months and like they've drawn so much.
Yeah, they're just they find their way out of the FA Cup today with a lackluster performance. Yeah, I mean they haven't been scoring. That's been their problem. They put one in today. They put one in against Wolves to win that game. They put one in against Newcastle to draw that game. They put one in against Watford to win that game. They only scored 2 against Kidderminster in a game that they were basically losing.
Barely,
and they won in, last second dramatic fashion. They haven't scored more than 2 goals since they played Crystal Palace way back. God, who knows even what was the date on this game? Let's see. This was the 1st of January. So that was they had 3 against Palace on the 1st of January, and since then they have not scored over 2 goals in a game. So,
when I looked at the lineups coming out, West Ham basically put out their A team going after the win, and Southampton, Ralphie Hasenhüttl totally rotates the side. So you're thinking like, all right, he's given his boys that kind of have been playing in the FA Cup. Give your Shane Longs a chance. Janipo's always in and out of the lineup. But no Brogia, no Livramento, no Che Adams in the starting lineup, no Bednarak. Like,
it all worked.
Rest, and they still came out on top. So
yeah, huge.
Good for Southampton. It's my next. That's besides like Spurs and Liverpool's really creeping up there with hated squads. West Ham's falling very close to the top 3.
Yeah, Liverpool's finding their way up there on a lot of people's lists lately. So,
but yeah, like Brian mentioned, there's 1 or 2 more FA Cup games. One is going to be tomorrow. Everton hosting. So far, the story of the tournament, Boreham Wood.
Yeah, good old Boreham Wood. So, I mean, Everton's in bad shape right now. We all know that.
Yeah,
they can't lose this game to Boreham Wood at home too. But who knows? I mean, again, the magic of the cup. 5th tier Boreham Wood moved on. 5th tier, yes. For all you casual fans, that's like a single A baseball team going and playing, the Yankees.
We'll say like single A. We'll say low ball. We'll say like rookie ball.
Yeah.
Beating like, I don't know, what's Everton compared to?
Yeah, I shouldn't really call Everton the Yankees, I guess.
The Pirates?
The Giants? No, I mean, right now, if you're going historically,
yeah,
they have a decent history, So you call them like the Giants, maybe like San Fran, maybe some like a team like that, the A's, like somewhere along that lines.
It'd be,
but regardless, it's
pretty insane though that. Yeah. The odds, I'd like to see those odds. I don't know what they're at currently.
Actually. I was going to say, it might be worth looking into.
I
That could be a fun little bet. Just put a few bucks on Bournemouth and hope to turn it into something there. So
I don't know. What is the guess? I'd say like plus 2,000.
Maybe it's that high. Yeah, it's got to be that high.
I mean, that's Bournemouth, like you said, 5th tier.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Daniel? He said McGregor's into looking to buy part of that. It's probably and you know what? That's what's it's gonna be most likely. It's probably gonna be like an investor group. You know,
Yeah.
It's generally not. I mean, there's not many people that have the kind of money where one guy anymore can just come in and purchase a team. There's very few. It's somewhat of a group. So if McGregor links up with the right people, he could definitely have an opportunity there. That would be kind of cool, I guess, for Chelsea fans.
Yeah, Bournemouth plus 1,800 tomorrow.
There you go, Adam. Adam's pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, plus 1,800. So
I have my finger on the pulse.
I'm thinking
Daniel?
I'm thinking a nice little parlay with Bournemouth in there.
I mean, hell, throw $5-10 on Bournemouth. Why not?
Yeah, hit Bournemouth straight up and then throw them into some kind of parlay, and because that'll just give you such a nice odds boost in like another 3-4 game parlay. Could really help you out.
Yeah, and then like Brian said, we got one more FA Cup game on Monday. My beloved Forest, Nottingham Forest, take on Huddersfield Town at 2:30. So
yeah, I mean, obviously Forest is the favorite in this one. You would say, even though you look at their league standings right now, they're very similar.
Both teams in good form.
Both teams are in pretty good form, but I mean, Forest is coming off beating Arsenal and Leicester. So those are two really monstrous wins. They're kind of being overshadowed by the fact of like what Middlesbrough is doing and teams like that. But I mean, Forest has been doing their thing so far in this tournament, and they're not an easy out. So we'll see. We'll see if Evan Horvath starts again in this game or not. I know he's getting opportunity here and there, but he may be out of there soon. There's been some rumors on that line too. So. But that should be a good game, definitely.
Yeah, it's like you said, kind of very close in standings in the championship. So I think it's a pretty even matchup so far. I think with talent plus like just the form both teams are in. You know, Dwayne Holmes, our own American, is on a pretty good run for Huddersfield right now. And then, you know, Ethan Horvath did get a start for the Forest the other day and got a nice shutout. So it's good to see him getting some minutes. Hopefully he can compete for that starting job, but I guess that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
On that respect. What else did we have going down? I know we had some... I believe there was some Coppa Italia and German DFB going down today as well. Yeah, Coppa Italia first leg here. We had Fiorentina and Juventus. That went to 1-0 to Juve. An own goal in the 91st minute. Has Juve in a 1-0 lead going into that second leg back to Turin coming up, I'm assuming next week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, the Milan squads played yesterday, and they played to a 0-0 draw in AC.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that was. So we're getting down to the wire in that tournament. Copa del Rey's still going on. Valencia is up right now, late on Athletic Club, 1-0 in the 88th minute. They're also up 2-1 in the aggregate, being that's in the second leg there. So if this holds, Valencia will move on in the Copa del Rey as well. So, and then tomorrow is Real Betis and Rayo playing. Real Betis holds a 2-1 in the aggregate on that one, and they're home tomorrow. So, winding down in some of these cups. About a month ago, you and I were doing a show, and it was just so cup heavy. Everything was going on.
Yeah, it's crazy that now we're already in March now. It's just like this season is just like flying by, and pretty soon we're going to be in May talking about like the Champions League final, and we'll have FA Cup final, and it's going to be down to that time.
There's still a game going on in the German DFB as well. It's in extra time. Looks like it's heading to PKs most likely. I think it's the 119th minute right now. So Leipzig won their game today in 4-0 over Hanover.
Yeah. The German Cup is pretty much up to Leipzig, I think, is most of the big dogs like Dortmund, Leverkusen, and Bayern are already out of that tournament.
Yeah.
So it's up to Freiburg and Leipzig. Freiburg did get a 2-1 win in extra time over Bochum.
That was literally right now.
Oh, that was the game you were talking about?
That was the game I was talking about. It was 120th minute. They just that goal just happened right now.
The goal
yeah, it's live.
There you go. Boom.
So we just said that the game was most likely unless something happened. Well, there it is. Something happened.
There it is. Freiburg.
Yep. Freiburg moves on.
Finishing, I think they're 5th or 6th in the Bundesliga, so they're having a pretty solid season overall. And now they have one step closer to that quarterfinal.
And Hamburg moved on pens as well. So
crazy game there too. They get a tying goal in the 91st minute to take it to extra time, and then win it in PKs.
Yeah, and they had a team. The other team had somebody on a red in the 71st. So
poor Karlsruhe.
Yeah, that sucks for that dude when you're the guy who gets that red in the 71st minute. You're going for a decent upset win. It wasn't a monstrous upset for them to go over Hamburg, but it would have been an upset. Hamburg moves on.
Now, both good feel-good stories in the German Cup. St. Pauli, after beating Dortmund, lost to Union Berlin yesterday 2-1.
Yes, I saw that.
So it's basically Union Berlin, Freiburg, Leipzig, Hamburg. That's it.
Yeah, man. Winding down. So yeah, I would probably say Leipzig's probably the on paper favorite.
Yeah, I didn't even get to see that, Daniel. That Juve ending. I just saw that it was an own goal there towards the end. I mean, of course, I'm thinking this is going to be like a 3-goal thriller, and it turned out to be a snoozer.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Vlahovic, he started out super slow with Juve, right? And then all of a sudden he's been, putting the ball in the net. So figured he would show up today playing against his old team, maybe get that fire back in him, but doesn't look like it.
Thoughts on Paul Pogba leading midfielders? Yeah, I mean, Pogba's a tremendous talent, man.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about it. The talent's there. It's just it's Pogba's world, and we're just living in it. So when he decides to play, he's fantastic. When he, just doesn't feel like playing, he's the diva that we all know. So not that surprising, I guess, but that just shows his talent, right? Played half the season and, leads the league in assists. So that's quite the feat. There he is. I thought he was going to
I
be
was-
silent. He's been very
I was
silent.
going to say, I know he's been quiet. I was waiting, definitely waiting for him.
Where was the boasting about Liverpool? I was waiting for.
It was no league kept mentioning the headline. Hey, meaningless trophies. No, I'm kidding.
No, you missed it in the beginning. I said that was the only day. That was the only time I was going to clap it up for Liverpool winning it. And I said, hey, deserved or undeserved, you made your PKs. All the PKs were fired by Liverpool. That's the nicest thing I'm going to say. And a stupid substitution.
Again, that's
bad refereeing. I mean, there's a lot. There's so much, but, you could say what if, about every game in VAR. And
ifs and buts, I know.
Liverpool made their PKs. Kelleher made his, obviously ours.
Yeah, Kelleher's was phenomenal.
Kepa's PK is still coming down, I think.
It is. I've seen some pretty
it's still up
some
in
pretty
the
good memes
atmosphere.
from that one. And you just you feel horrible for the kid. I hate that. I said it in our group chat.
It just makes it even worse because
I hate that. Yeah, I hate that sub 10 out of 10 times. You don't feel bad. You don't even feel bad if that's not the substitution. But the fact that it was a substitution, the fact that it was, he was supposed to be this knight in shining armor for PKs. And at the end of the day, I go with the guy whose legs have been in that game all day, the guy who has the feel for how players are going. I don't like pulling the guy who did all that work. Even if one guy is, in training a little bit better in PKs, it's just I don't like that move, man. Because without getting a hand on. I mean, you got maybe a fingertip on one of them.
He played Virgil to go to his strong side. He knew he was going to go that way, and he still.
Man, and every one of them, he walked up and tried to use as much of the room that the ref allows you, and try to be intimidating, and didn't intimidate anybody. And then to be put in that position to have to make that last shot, and to have that total combined thing. It's just it's a confidence killer. To me, I would never put a player in that position. And you kind of saw it today too, because they didn't start off that good. His positioning was a little off, I think, today in that game. Eddie will debate me on that because he's a Kepa backer the whole time. But I saw those. The first goal, he was kind of just flat-footed, caught off guard. And I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily a solid thing to be doing.
But
it worked once, but I didn't like it then.
Trying to be too cute, and obviously it totally backfired. And your PK specialist allows 11 for 11 and plus goalie, and then himself is to have at least if he hits the frame and Kelleher saves it. Okay, we're not talking about it, but that was he kicked it out of the stadium. So
yeah. But
no, we were there because Lukaku's armpit was offside, so don't even give me that.
No, I guess he's saying that Kepa helped you get there but it's not. He's had that ability. They did it one time and it worked, where they brought in this
PK specialist.
I've seen Mendy take and stop PKs too, so it's not like Mendy's the worst PK defender ever. And the guy's one of the better goalies in the world right now, and he was having a great game. And to take him out, it just
it could be revisionist history, because if the sub is successful and he saves it and Chelsea won, then we wouldn't even be sitting here talking about it.
Yeah, but
great job, great sub, but the fact that he didn't stop one and he got barely a hand on one, and he kicked that ball into the Earth's atmosphere.
I mean, you're a soccer player, dog. You gotta stay over top of that one. He kicked it like he was kicking the ball on a goal kick.
Yo, Tommy, hey, what up?
Like, it was almost like he was tired and he was just done. And he was like, you know what? I'm just going to, let's go home. Like,
yeah, on a goal kick, he's leaning
yeah,
back.
he's
so
like, I don't want to have to go
air.
try to save another one. I'm done.
You got to get over the ball and kick that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was it's a weird situation, but I said the nice thing I'll say about Liverpool is all their PKs were absolutely spot on. So whatever Jurgen is doing in training with PKs after practice, keep it up because phenomenal all around.
Well, good.
Everyone was a panel hit, so it's like impossible for Kepa to even save some of those. So
I'm glad Lord Walker got on and gave us a chance to talk about that because it gives us an opportunity to recognize another sponsor. And if you're Kepa and you make that play, you might need yourself a drink. If you're in the area, the PA area, hit up Gleason's Bar, located at 6700 Mill Creek Avenue, Levittown, PA. Go in, tell them you're from A2D, 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or order online. Go to Gleason's Bar and Steaks. baransteaks.com. If you want to order online, you can use the promo code A2D. Or again, if you're calling in, just tell them.
Been there before.
Yeah, so check them out. Like I say,
Bucks County.
Yeah. Go get yourself there. It's not far from it's right over the bridge actually. So it's if you're in my area of Jersey, it's an easy ride as well.
Bridge?
Yes, there's a couple you could take. Really, I mean, depends on what you want to spend these days on one of these bridges. Because I like to drive a little further down into Trenton and take the free one still, because there are a couple that are still left. Because that's how I roll.
Makes the world takes.
Yeah, man. Even the Route 1 bridge that was $1 forever is now $3. It's criminal. They should all be whatever.
And whoever's not from PA and Jersey is like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, because most places you don't pay to drive on roads. And their roads are actually really nice and well taken care of. It's weird.
Facts.
Yeah. So.
But again, hey, congrats to Liverpool. I'm just busting Lord Walker's chops.
Yes. So they got one piece of silverware. They're still in the running for a second and a third this year, and a fourth actually. So they're still alive.
They're on their way. They're on their way to some good stuff. Again, hey.
We know nobody said it was a knee-jerk reaction. We all know that it's his play, but nobody says it's a good play. Like, I don't know why you sit there and you want to defend, like, what are you, Chelsea defender now too? I mean, I get it. It doesn't good, bad, or is him trying to say that maybe in his trying to push his coach for the better of the two. But again, it worked once, it didn't work this time. Anyway.
We got to the tournament. We got as far as we did because of Kepa. He was certainly a part of it.
He was part of it. So was Mendy. Mendy was a huge part of it. Mendy was the reason they lifted a lot of silverware in the last year and a half.
Again, revisiting his history, we could be sitting here and saying, great job, Kepa. You won us the title. And you won us the trophy because you saved one.
Austin FC, best team in the MLS. How about that?
Still don't believe it.
I know it's not going to last long, but I'm pumped up, man. I don't want to downplay. Like, I know we do a lot of Prem stuff, but like, I really want to do a lot of MLS stuff this year because one, I think it's a good market for us. I'm excited for the league. I'm excited for my team. Again, this could change, in 13 weeks when we got to do show criteria. You'd be like, I thought we were going to talk MLS. I'll be like, Red Bulls in 11th. Shut up. Like, I don't want to talk about it, but I don't think that's going to happen. So,
yeah, I just kind of look and say that it's only the first week. I guess I'm excited because like, Shaqiri, my club, I have like so much expectation, and when it's week 1 and they draw, that I'm just like, it doesn't move the meter for me. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, like trust me, if you guys would have came out and did what everybody thought you were going to do, and handle that team,
I'd be like, we're winning it possibly.
Yeah, I mean, if you were that one of those teams on the Cecelio,
and
yeah, exactly.
But
so, like, Crew fans right now are pumped up. United fans are pumped up. Austin FC fans are pumped up. Both LA fans are pumped up. Rightfully so in some of these cases. And again, like I said, we'll talk in 13 weeks and see where all that energy still lies. But I think it's the league is growing. This is like basically officially the 25th/26th year of the league. It's been around since I think it's technically 28 years, but they didn't start playing for a couple of years after the league was established. Guys like Shaqiri are here, on the fire. We have another signing with the Dynamo bringing over Hector Herrera this summer when that window opens back up from, a really good team. And he's playing a good role in Atletico. I know he's older and things like that, but it's not like the guy's washed up. He's playing a valuable role on a big club in Europe, and he's deciding to come here and lead the ship for the Dynamo, which is awesome. Chicharito is healthy for now, and he scores in week 1. So it's like you see the league really growing. Daniel as well. Like Toronto has Insigne coming as well in the summer.
Yeah,
so like
he's still scoring a lot of goals for Napoli currently.
Yeah, so some of these teams just need to keep the ship right till they get some reinforcements. But it's like
it's exciting because Chicharito gets the game winner. Vela gets off to another great start. I don't know. It's exciting.
It's a World Cup year, hopefully, depending on the climate of the world, and how that continues to go on. But it should be a World Cup year this year. So I don't know. I just think like all that combined it's a kind of a condensed season as well. That's why they started early. It's going to end early because of the World Cup being in November in Qatar. Right. So it's going to be the earliest that the league ever ended, as well as the earliest the league has ever started. So it's just a little different. Lord Walker's out. Hey, He's Lord. Mad. He's mad at us. I know. I love him. I want to get him back on, but he's frustrated as a Liverpool fan, I guess, with our disdain for the club right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just.
We're not going to sit.
And
again, I'm not going to sit there and
we both give him shit, and he gives us shit right back. And now it's become like, I think we've a lot of people that tune into the show and that have become fans over the years with us doing A2D. Shout out Eric as well and Evan. Again, Liverpool guys. So
yeah, I just don't want Liverpool fans walking around thinking everybody's got to kiss their feet like they're royalty, because it's not how we roll, man.
It's just going to start to open some wounds up.
All I know is we're coming back. My club is on its way back, and everybody can keep talking, and they can keep talking, and that's fine, because at the end of the day, right now we are in the driver's seat for that 4th position. I don't want to get too excited, but 3 games in hand and only a couple points off is
great
huge.
Win against Wolves.
Yeah, man. We've been getting like the games that we hadn't been winning. We've come out now and found ways to win, and it's all different guys, and it's a bunch of different guys contributing. And Lacazette finally gets that monkey off his back, even though it goes down as an own goal. by Sa. Like it doesn't matter. Like the work was there. I've been begging for Pepe. He comes in, not only gets the goal on a beautiful turnaround, but he gets the assist on Lacazette's goal.
Yeah, he came in and looked lively. I was impressed.
Yeah, man, he's been great. He was doing really well for Ivory Coast in AFCON. He's kind of been like we said, it took some guys some time. He's kind of been finding his legs. This was a 5-year deal. This wasn't like this was one of those 1 or 2 year deals where you got to come in and rush it and make something. Like there was time for this to progress, and even Arteta said the other day, like it's starting to progress into something really nice. And right now it's kind of in that super sub role. I still would like to see him more in a starter's role, but it's okay. There's other guys too that are playing well. So
yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those where you're starting to see that Arsenal, winning games that maybe they might not have in the past.
Yeah.
And making their way up because they have these games in hand, and Spurs losing over the weekend, or Spurs winning at Leeds handily over the weekend. Well, some of the other ones. I mean, United continues to struggle a little bit, drawing Watford at home, which, again,
I mean, we should talk more about that Leeds being basically that's the end of
that's
Bielsa, and it looks like the start of Jesse Marsh is. I don't know if that's like
I don't know how that kind of like fell by the wayside with news, but there's been just so much going on the past week. I guess that kind of got put to the back burner when it should be more, at least for U.S. news. Like that's pretty big with Marcel Bielsa. There's reports saying that he was going to step down at the end of the season, but all of a sudden it was like after that drubbing by Spurs on Saturday, he's like him and the club mutually agreed right then and there. I'm done. That's enough of your services. And Jesse Marsh, the U.S. Born coach that we've been talking about so much about on this show forever, about taking over the U.S. men's national team eventually, is going to be taking over at Leeds. So huge.
Yeah, man, that's big news. I think
bringing in American talent also to Leeds.
I mean, they've already been linked to Aronson before this.
If they stay up, he's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. He might even go. Honestly, he might even go if they don't, because going to that Leeds team, that even if they go back down to the championship now with Jesse Marsh in, you're almost saying there's a good chance they're coming right back up.
Yeah.
So I think he would go anyway. I mean, playing where he's playing now and playing even in the championship on the Leeds team, there's not a huge difference at all. I mean, Leeds is probably, I don't know if I would say they're probably not a better team. I don't know. It's tough to say than Augsburg.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, Salzburg just has a lot of young talent.
Yeah.
Obviously the competition each day and each match day is not the same as the Prem, but I don't know. It'd be a good jump for him, but I don't know why if he's having a fantastic year, and we know he's, I think, Prem quality, so if they stay up, I think it'd be a great move for him, and especially being with Jesse again. And they're saying, Tyler Adams keeps saying that he wants to come over eventually and play for a Premier League team, and I totally think he can. So is that a way to get Tyler Adams to join Jesse at Leeds?
Yeah.
If Leipzig, want to make like an overhaul and maybe
that would be awesome if he got Adams and Aronson.
Change the culture,
Yeah.
This Leeds team, it was nice. It was a good story last year, But this year they're just showing that kind of like that Sheffield situation. You don't score and you let up way too much.
Yeah.
And you're not adding much defensively. They tried, but they just have not been successful with anybody that they've really brought in on the defensive end. And you still have these journeymen, your Stuart Dallases, Luke Aylings of the world, and I think if Calvin Phillips gets sold, I think that opens the door for possible Tyler Adams to come in.
Do you think he debuts as coach this weekend already? I mean, it's officially hired as of Monday. Is that enough time to come in? And I mean, will he be on the sideline against Leicester?
I guess, yeah.
Right? I mean, he is the head coach, so I mean,
I don't see why not.
Yeah, there's no caretaker that's going to coach this last game until he kind of gets in and gets acquainted with the team. It's not a lot of time. I mean, you figure if he's hired Monday, he's not really even in the doors probably till like today. So he's got to prepare now from today till they're the first game on Saturday.
You got some days to implement your system and tactics, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. See if he's up and ready running. But that would be a good game if people want to catch him. That's the 7:30 game on Saturday. So Leeds takes on Leicester.
They need some sort of points because
they're in trouble.
Now Newcastle seems to be winning a little bit, so that I think Newcastle eventually is going to be safe, and Norwich, I think it's going to be Norwich. I think the three teams at the bottom are going to be I think there might be the three that are going to go. I
don't know, man. Watch out for Burnley.
Those three will be the teams I would like to go.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Burnley out of here. That would be nice. Watford and Norwich again. I don't know, though. Leeds really needs to be careful, man.
Yeah, I do. I just have a bad feeling that Leeds' time is up.
We'll see.
Good.
I mean, they've played a lot of their hard games, though, so we'll see if they can get this thing turned around here sooner under Jesse, and if Jesse can keep them out of relegation. That's a huge notch under his belt as a coach if he can come in now and save that team from relegation, because they're only a couple points clear of Burnley right now from that last spot. So, what else we got? We'll run down the rest of the weekend, and I got to get out of here a couple minutes early if possible.
No worries.
So we got Villa versus Southampton. After the Leeds Leicester game, Burnley Chelsea. So again, don't sleep on them. They're in desperate need.
I probably just put a little curse on the boys. And
I mean, Chelsea's been coming off some hard fought games the last couple. It's a lot of games, and it's been a lot of like energy used. And Burnley is home. So we'll see what Chelsea does there. Newcastle will take on Brighton. Like Adam said, Newcastle's been on a little bit of a run here since the new ownership and bringing in some new blood. Kieran Trippier looks reborn in England. We got the couple bottom dwellers. This is big. Norwich at home against Brentford, an opportunity for Norwich to try to pick up points. Or, again, an opportunity for Brentford to pick up points and stay clear of those bottom guys and try to hold up in the league again. We got Wolves Palace. And then finally on Saturday, the main game is Liverpool West Ham. So that's a big 12:30 Saturday game. Got to be a Liverpool fan in that one. Unfortunately, Lord Walker left already because he was all butthurt because, we don't kiss the ring. But Liverpool, we do need them as an Arsenal fan at this point to go on and win that game as well, just to keep gaining more ground and keep points out of West Ham. And then going into Sunday,
It's a big weekend for Liverpool because you got the Manchester Derby, as I'm sure you're about to say, on Sunday.
Yes. We got first to start off Sunday morning, Arsenal heads to Watford. Another game where Arsenal has to get 3 points if they want to have an opportunity at that fourth seed and fourth spot at the end of the year. You got to go, even if it's a road game, it doesn't matter. You got to go into Watford. You got to come out of there with a win and get 3 points. They're a bad bottom team. And then, you have the Manchester Derby. So as bad as United's been, this is one of those games where everybody knows in any sport when you have these like rivalry, division, whatever games, could be anybody's ball game. Liverpool's trying to keep pace with City, and we'll see what they can put together here.
Why do I feel like United's going to get just destroyed?
Probably, but I don't know. City's been kind of like iffy lately as far as like just stomping on people. They were doing that for a while, but that's kind of slowed down a little bit. And United's due at some point. I mean, they've had a kind of tough run, but we'll see. And then we do have a Monday night game as well, Spurs Everton. So again, I mean, Spurs have been pretty bad, but Everton needs to be super careful as well, because if one of these teams like Norwich or Watford or Burnley somehow picks up some points this weekend, and Everton doesn't, they're
a little pressure on the Toffees.
Yeah, they're next in line. They're sitting. They're only 1 point clear of Burnley at this point. They do have a game in hand, but still, they got to handle their business soon, or it's gonna be dangerous going down to the wire here. So.
Yeah, it's not good with I don't know what to make of Frank Lampard going to Everton.
I think it's going to be a career-ending move. I think
why he even would take that garbage job,
I think,
knowing it was just like probably in like a no-win situation.
I think they went to Wayne Rooney first, and he smartly said no, thank you. And then they went to Frank, and Frank stupidly said yes. And I think this could really
waiting by the phone for
it could kill this guy's coaching career, man. Because if you don't get them out of the basement and Everton gets relegated,
could you imagine?
You'll never coach again. Like that's because you're gonna have the FA and everybody doing everything they can to try to not let that happen. And
that'd be brutal.
Yeah,
that's like some of the not comparing Hamburg to Everton, but when Hamburg got relegated from the first division in the Bundesliga down to the second division, I think it was the first time in club history that they weren't in like the top flight or something like that. So it was like super emotional for them to go down.
Yeah, Hamburg was like
it's like history. It's like
they're one of the greatest teams in Bundesliga history. Yeah, like
it's like we don't even know what that's like not to be in the top flight, and then all of a sudden we're down in the second division when you don't know when the next year is you're gonna go up. Like, it's a scary feeling.
Yeah, man.
But you would assume I just cannot see Everton getting relegated. I still think Norwich and Burnley and Watford are way worse off than they are.
You would, but I mean,
talent-wise, at least.
Yeah, they better be careful though. They're only a point away. So, all right. So before we get out of here, our famous red card, yellow card segment.
Jess.
What do you got? You got anything? I mean, I think the clearest one at this point for me is just the whole situation.
He gets choked up talking about
it. Man. No, I mean, it sucks. I don't even want to – I'm not going to drag it on because, like I said, I got to get moving here. But basically just the unfortunate situation with us, the world getting into this whole war thing and Russia and Abramovich, and it's shitty, but sucks for him. And it sounds like Chelsea is up for sale, and unless this thing wraps up super quick and they can save face somehow, I don't think he's going to be the owner of Chelsea.
No, I think this is going to happen fairly quickly. The only thing I had was that if Man United keeps continuing to slide down, I know they've had a pretty rough year, even though they're still, not that far off the top 5. But I saw reports that they might turn to a good old retread, recycled coach. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I did.
Good old Carlo Ancelotti is waiting in the wings if somehow Ralph Ragnarok does not work out at United anymore.
I think that
I
already
just have
has
to laugh
happened.
at United at that point, and they definitely get. I would say they're put on notice with a nice yellow from me if that is what they're actually thinking, because I feel like I've talked about this every week this year, that if I'm a United fan, I'm like furious the way that the Glazers have handled like their coaching situation, to overpaying for players, trying to bringing in Ronaldo to try to save the day, counting on him, and bringing in a coach that didn't even coach at his former employer. Like, I don't know. And to have Ancelotti come in and try and fix this, he can fix Everton, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, they're a joke.
I just do not understand what goes on in some of these front offices. I really don't.
Yeah.
So they're definitely on notice for me. And United's got a big one. Manchester Derby, if they get blown out, I mean, does this coach last through the weekend?
He might not. If they don't show up, he might not make it through the weekend. So.
But all right, guys.
All right, man.
Hell of a show. So much to talk about. I know it feels like we're spinning in circles with all the talk of, each team in many different competitions, but we appreciate everybody bearing with us. We will see you guys next week, Wednesday, 4:30 as per usual. Again, full slate of Prem this weekend. We got Champions League starting back up next Tuesday. The second legs of, I believe, Bayern and Salzburg and Liverpool and Inter will be on Tuesday. And then obviously Wednesday will be the Chelsea, City, Sporting, and Real Madrid PSG second leg. So lots to talk about for next week. Again, a lot of good games to look forward to. So again, thank you, Lord Walker, Daniel, Tommy, for jumping on, Pete and Greggy. We love you guys, and we will see you guys next week.
Love you, man. Later, guys.